A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, on a distant planet of Tatooine, a dry, sun-scorched world at the far edge of the Outer Rim. A planet forgotten by the galaxy, yet shaped by it. Once a hub of ancient trade routes, now reduced to a harsh wasteland, where law fades beneath twin suns. Its surface is ruled by heat, its shadows ruled by fear. From the bustling spaceports of Mos Espa, to the crime-laced alleys of Mos Eisley, to the silent villages that cling to survival like moisture from the air. Here live the hardened and the hunted, farmers, scavengers, smugglers, and syndicates. Among them, stories pass in whispers. Stories of power, of war, of Jedi ghosts lost to the sands of time. Exiled from the courts of Naboo, our story begins far from the cities, in a remote village forgotten by charts and starships alike. There, Boy lived quietly with his noble parents. His name was Sheev Palpatine, and though his heart beat on this barren world, his destiny reached far beyond it. For in the stillness of Tatooine, the rise of the Sith began. But even in the quiet corners of the village, darkness stirred.
Let's go. Sheev is coming.
Sheev was not like the others. While the boys ran through the dunes and played with scraps of metal, he watched the twin suns in silence, his mind elsewhere. They mocked him for it, bullying him with every chance they had,
What do you have
whispered
there?
names
Give it to
behind
me.
his back, shoved him in the dust, laughed when he flinched. His silence made them uneasy. To them, he was strange. To him, they were blind.
Please stop! Leave me alone! Come here, you freak!
Each cruel word, each bruise, each smirk became a spark, an anger that became power. A power he could not control. Not yet. Mocked and humiliated once more, he lashed out, not with fists, but with something deeper, something unnatural. A figure cloaked in shadows, silent, still, standing beyond the crowd. His name was unknown, his presence unsettling, but his gaze never left the boy. That night, as the sun bled behind the hills, the stranger stood at a distance, watching Sheev's home. Inside, his father, Kozinga Palpatine, drunk and bitter, once again laid hands upon the boy, as he often did, demanding control, crushing the will.
I heard what happened at the market, boy. Using tricks again? Do you want the whole planet to think you're cursed? You think you're special? You're nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing.
And in the shadows, Darth Plagueis watched. He did not see a boy. He saw a future.
Sheev. Sheev. Follow Let your anger lead you. Sheev, only in the shadows, you will find the truth.
And so, Sheev followed the voice, drawn not by words, but by something deeper, a pull in his very soul. The air grew colder with each step, the silence louder. He didn't know where he was going, only that he must go. And with every breath, the darkness welcomed him, not with fear, but with purpose.
In the silence, I await, beyond the light. Inside, you'll find a cloak. Use it, Sheev. The shadows have chosen you.
It's all right, boy. Don't be frightened by my face. I know it's not the kind that comforts. But I'm not here to hurt you.
Who are you?
Some call me Master. Others dare not speak my name. But you, Sheev, you may call me Plagueis.
How do you know my name?
Because I've watched you, hiding pain behind silence, mocked by your peers, punished by your father. Each wound, each insult, carved deeper than any blade. They try to cage you, but the fire inside you, I've seen it flicker. That power, untamed, beautiful. They fear it, so they beat it down.
They all hate me.
Because they sense the force moving through you. Raw, untrained, dangerous. You are not like them, Sheev. You were never meant to be.
And what do you want from me?
I want to give you a path, a way to use what's already inside you. No more hiding, no more trembling when they raise their voices. You will raise your hand, and they will tremble.
I don't understand.
You will. You've already felt it in the market, haven't you? That power. When your anger surged, you didn't break, they did. The Force chose you, Sheev, not to suffer, but to rule. And I will help you, if you let me.
Why? Why help me?
Because I see the future, and in it, you stand above them all. Not laughed at, not broken, feared. Inside this sanctuary lies the beginning. You've worn the cloak. Now wear the name Destiny offers.
What name?
I'll show you something. Etched in this stone are the names of those who shaped the shadows. My name, the name of my master, and his master before him. Each a keeper of power, a sculptor of destiny. One day, your name shall join them, forever bound to the legacy of the Sith. Your name, you will discover soon. But first you must choose. Stay with those who beat you, or follow the voice that calls you toward power.
Then I choose to stay and learn, Master.
Come. This crystal once belonged to a fallen Sith, whose hate split the Force itself. Your first test is simple. Reach for the crystal, not with your hand, but with your anger. Remember remember their laughter, Sheev?
I don't know if I can...
Yes, you can. Remember your father's belt. Feel it, feed it, and pull. Yes, do not stop now.
So, Sheev accepted. In that dark sanctuary, beneath the flickering glow of ancient runes, the boy bound himself to a destiny no child could ever imagine. Not for glory, not even for revenge, but for power. The only thing that had never mocked him, never struck him, never left him behind. Under Darth Plagueis, he studied relentlessly. While other children played under the suns of Tatooine, Sheev learned to silence his fear, to master his anger, and to bend the Force to his will. The days blurred into nights, pain into strength, weakness into purpose. He memorized forbidden texts, trained in ancient arts lost to time, and endured trials meant to break the unworthy. And yet, he endured. Not as the boy who once cowered under his father's shadow, but as a vessel of potential, carved by discipline and fury. By the age of 14, Sheev was no longer the boy they had beaten. He was becoming something else entirely. Something the galaxy would one day learn to fear. After his first victims, something in Sheev changed. Whether it was Darth Plagueis who directed him, or the will of the Force itself, Sheev knew it was time. His path led to Naboo. He left his parents behind, not with hate, but with silence. And so, he walked into the unknown, not as a boy, but as an echo of something far more dangerous. So he left to Naboo. The capital of Naboo, Theed. City of art, order, and quiet arrogance. For centuries, its ivory towers stood untouched by chaos, blind to the shadows rising beneath them. And now, the shadow had arrived. He had no title, no plan, no name that mattered here. But in his mind, a single thought echoed. This world will kneel before me, and never know when it began. With every step, Sheev Palpatine shed the boy he once was, and studied the mask he would wear. Not all empires are born in war. Some begin with a whisper.
Master Plagueis?
You have taken your first step, but the path ahead is treacherous and endless, my apprentice.
What happens now, my master?
Now, you will be forged. Your training will continue in the Force, in shadow, in silence. But knowledge alone is not power. Power lies in influence, in control, in vision.
You mean politics?
Yes, Naboo's court is blind and bloated. You will learn to speak their tongue, to charm, to deceive. To wear a mask of civility while your mind sharpens like a blade.
And if they resist?
They will. Let them. Because by the time they see you, truly see you, it will be too late. You will study in Theed's finest academies, learn their laws, their customs, earn their trust. And when they offer you power, you will smile and take it.
Palpatine, come.
One day, not yet, but soon, I will be the one who decides who lives, who rules, who dies. And when that day comes, no one will forget me.